I like this comment, and it's given me a good idea that I also like. The entire guide I've made for Hoyoung is still relevant to this day, in every way I believe, and I usually don't incorporate 6th job much in my guides because it's still being updated, so I've come up with a middle ground. A series of relatively shorter videos, with 6th job updates to the videos I've already made, as additional supplementary information that should be relevant at least until the next major 6th job update that adds in new skills and such. I can't do this for every class as I'm limited in how many 6th job characters I have, but I'll do my best to update it when there's relevant updates, and also when I get said characters up to 260. Since I'm a Hoyoung main, let's start the series there. Though be warned, this is meant to be a purely more technical follow-up to explain how the classes change at 6th job. So go into these knowing what the class is like, and what your main skills are called, and all that other fun stuff. Oh, that's creaky. At 6th job, you get upgrades to your Heaven, Earth, and Humanity skills. On their own, these upgrades just give more damage to them. Whoops, hey, post-edit me. I forgot to add something. The cooldown variant skills have enhanced versions with Universal Harmony that all do different things. Stone Tremor makes a field that does damage over time for 5 seconds. Consuming Flames gives a buff for 15 seconds that enhances 3 of your attacks. And Gold Banded Cudgel does a whole extra attack that hits 8 times. These all can only be used once per Universal Harmony, and the non-cooldown skills don't get enhancements like this. Okay, that's all. Back to the video. They're separated in masteries, with your spammy skills being this Hexa mastery, and your cooldown skills being this one. However, if you choose the cooldown skill-centric one first, you get a 4th entirely new skill. Universal Harmony is a passive that charges when you attack with your Heaven, Earth, and Humanity skills. For this mastery alone, it currently only activates with your cooldown-centric skills that got upgraded. When it does charge up and you do attack with them, you gain a damage buff that gives some extra final damage for 40 seconds. 30-second cooldown, so you could very easily keep this up all the time if you know what you're doing. Your other Heaven, Earth, and Humanity skills on the second mastery all activate the Universal Harmony effect too, once you unlock them. This can get a bit annoying when bossing if you're trying to save that buff for when you burst, so if you wanted it to only activate when you use your cooldown skills, just right-click it, and it disables your spammy skills from popping Universal Harmony. This toggle is mentioned nowhere in the game, and I found out it existed through a random smega that brought it up. Keep note of this, as that Universal Harmony buff is important for your burst. Your origin skill, Sage Apotheosis, is a bit odd compared to other classes' origin skills, as it's a hold down skill. You have to hold it up for nearly the entire duration, but doing so summons a cataclysmic rage of gods raining down on everything nearby. The first half of the attack is what you have to hold down, when it's all red, up until the screen rushes with mountains and the color blue everywhere, attacking a second time. Then it plays out the rest automatically, dealing big damage to everything. As with all origin skills, 6-minute cooldown, and it acts as an iframe throughout the entire animation, as well as a bind that has its own separate timer on bosses. I was made aware that some classes also get slightly different upgrades to their 5th job skill enhancements, but Hoyoung doesn't. It's just purely damage increases, so don't fret over that too much. Lastly, for the skills section, I'll include shared 6th job skills, since it's just Soul Janus currently. Click the Soul Janus skill itself, and it brings up a menu of 2 choices. Clicking the left arrow key chooses Dawn, and right arrow chooses Dusk. Dawn places down a big ring that clears out mobs, and at level 20 it goes up to 3 total rings you can place down during its duration. Said duration starts at 1 minute at level 1, going up to 2 minutes at max level, and 1 minute cooldown at all levels. Dusk just attacks around you automatically when you attack every 3 seconds. 3-second cooldown at all levels, and the number of crystals that rain down and attack enemies starts off at 9 at level 1 and goes up to 11 at max level. Everything about my Hoyoung guide, again, still remains true, but now we get to include all the 6th job stuff. Really, the only difference in playstyle is building around Universal Harmony and Origin. As stated before, right-clicking Universal Harmony disables it being used with Humanity as you Will Fan, Earthground Shattering Wave, and Heaven Iron Fangale, aka all your spammable attacks. For grinding, same as it ever was. Spam Gale, have Talisman Clone and Talisman Seeking Ghost Flame up and active, and place Scroll Star Vortex and Urda Shower in an area you don't visit often. With how a lot of Grandest maps are set up usually going back and forth between the far ends of a map, you could set up your Talisman Warp Gate on one of the map portals, like this, attack, use the map portal to go wherever it can't reach, and use the Warp Gate to reach wherever the map portals can't reach. I worded that a little weird, but essentially what you're seeing on screen right now is what you do. What skill you attack with depends on what you want to use at the time, and this setup usually clears out most of the larger maps. More so if you have Soul Janus putting in effort too. If you didn't want to put in that much effort, there's always smaller maps to just cast Iron Fangale back and forth. For bossing, your off burst is pretty much the same. Remember to save your Universal Harmony for when you burst, which can get a little tricky if you're used to using Cudgel off cooldown. Just try to anticipate when you'll be using it in advance by checking if you have the Harmony buff up on your buff bar. For burst/BA at 6th job, get ready, cause it's a little technical. Pop your non-cooldown buffs, and then your gauge summons, namely Clone and Butterflies. Pop Miracle Tonic, Grandest Goddess's Blessing, Tiger of Songyu, Will Skill if you have that, you should by now, as well as Saren Skill if you have that too, and then set up a Star Vortex and Ghost Flame while Miracle Tonic builds up your gauge some more. Once more, when the outer gauge of Scroll Energy fills up, pop Scroll Degeneration for that extra boss damage debuff. Next, activate 3 Paths Apparition, Clone Rampage, and Wrath of Gods. Enhance them with AB Link, Last Resort at Stage 2, and if you have it, use Ring of Restraint right here. Preferably level 4 or 5, but 3 is fine too. Hold down your Origin skill until the mountains appear, double tap Gourd to use up some more gauge, and keep spamming Ground Shattering Wave and Cudgel whenever 3 Paths resets its cooldown. If you needed Cudgel to reset more, toss in an Iron Fangale occasionally. Keep an eye on your buffs at the top right, mainly for Wrath of Gods. Once that's about to run out, or if you play Maple with your sound on, once it reaches the end of its song, right around here, click Wrath of Gods again for the full damage output. Since this is the main method of doing your full Origin burst, optimally, you'll want to remember this pattern, at least until some future update changes it. I'll still try to shorten it so it's a bit easier to follow. Buffs, summons, tonic, Grandest Goddess's Blessing, Tiger, Will Skill, Saren Skill, Vortex, Ghost Flame, Degeneration, 3 Paths Apparition, Clone Rampage, Wrath of Gods, AB and Last Resort, Ring of Restraint, hold Origin until you see the mountains appear, Gourd twice, spam Earth Shattering Wave and Cudgel whenever that comes off cooldown, Gale to reset Cudgel, pop Wrath of Gods near the end of its duration. Your off burst and non-Origin burst are pretty much the same as before, but with the addition of Harmony's final damage buff when you pop that properly. Casting Stone Tremor when it comes off cooldown is good for an extra bit of damage too. While the comment at the beginning of this video isn't the only one I've gotten regarding a more up-to-date guide for Hoyoung, it is the one that pushed me over the edge into making this video. In a good way, don't worry. I realize that as time passes, this game keeps changing drastically, but with 6th job, not much has changed for now. We'll see as time goes on, but yeah, just a quick little follow-up to tack onto my Hoyoung guide that's still relevant as of October 2024. If you want more little follow-up updates to guides I've already made, let me know in the comments, I guess. Tell me how you feel about this little update video. I'm most likely gonna just keep making these because they're short and easy, and it keeps me busy. Back to work I go on either a Will Boss guide or my next class guide. That's all.